podcast, we're going to talk about questions that we have online.
These are going to be the most popular questions asked online. And I believe our first category is going to be space questions. So the first 5 questions are going to be space related. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. But Ben is going to introduce us while I pull up Google so that we can fact check kind of what we're saying. We'll give our own sort of opinion, sort of hypothesis as to what our answers to this, but we're also going to look at the popular answers as far as like Google is concerned, right?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm just going to go ahead and read the first question is the universe infinite? And I think it is because I watched this video and it said every single second, like, the universe expands, I think, 1,200 miles every second.
1,200 miles every second. I wonder how it does that.
I don't know. But I think it's infinite because you can't reach the end unless you have light travel, like a light.
So you're saying light creates the universe?
I think so.
You think light creates the universe? Well, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, if... But then again, how do you know without being, how do you know without having a degree in astrophysics or something? You know what I mean?
Well, it's just an educated guess because, like, light is the fastest traveling thing in the universe.
So they say. But really, what is faster than light?
I think light's the fastest thing in the universe, though.
I think you're correct because, I would trust guys like Einstein and Tesla and, those guys who happen to know what they're talking about. Okay, so all right, what's the question exactly? Let's see.
Is the universe infinite?
Okay. Well, here, let's type that into Google.
Universe infinite. It's actually the top question whenever you say "is the universe."
Oh, check that out.
So it says, if the universe is perfectly geometrically flat, then it can be infinite. If it is curved like this Earth's surface, then it has finite volume. So that's basically saying, one second. Sorry. That's basically saying if the universe is flat, perfectly flat, then it can be infinite. But if it is curved like the Earth's surface, it's not infinite, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but if it's infinite, then it wouldn't have a shape, would it? That would be my kind of question as far as that goes.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go ahead and to the next
so
question.
That one remains kind of unanswered, right?
I
It's
mean,
a maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. So do you age in space?
Do you age in space? I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
I would say yes, but very slowly.
Yes, but slowly? Yeah. All right, let's see what the good old internet says.
Do you age... I forgot how to spell age for a second. In space. It's the top thing when it says, do you age?
Okay.
They get to age it just a little tiny bit slower than people on Earth.
Wow. I wonder why that is. Probably I would say because of gravity.
Probably because the lack of oxygen, maybe?
Lack of oxygen, yeah. But I don't know. We kind of need oxygen to live, to breathe. We need oxygen in our blood. We need oxygen actually in our skin. We need it, in our lungs.
I think that's why, because the lack of oxygen in space, that's because we age slower. That's why.
Because there's no oxygen?
Well, yes, I think.
I would think it would be the opposite, though. Like the lack of oxygen would make you age faster because you'd be dying pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, you do age slowly, like slower in space.
you age slower in space. Okay. All right, what's the next question?
So the next question is Pluto a regular planet?
Now, it used to be. Now, when I was in school, it was a planet. Okay? But at some point, they decided it wasn't a planet anymore.
It's a dwarf planet for some stupid reason.
It's a dwarf planet. Okay. So, dwarf planets aren't considered planets? Or maybe they're like little planets, kind of like short people?
Yeah, I went ahead and searched it up, but the funny thing is that when you search up is and then put a P, that's the top thing that is on Google. So it says tiny Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. Pluto is only about 1,400 miles wide. At that small size, Pluto is only half the width of the United States.
Really? Wow.
I never thought about that.
That's a small planet.
Yeah, that's a really small planet.
So it is considered a planet, though. Eh.
I mean, it's only like...
I wonder if it would be considered a moon. But then again, a moon would have to be associated with a bigger planet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, let's move on to our next question.
All right, what's the next question?
Okay, so the first one on the space is, are there different types of black holes?
I would say no. I'd say there's only one type of black hole. Maybe some are bigger, maybe some are smaller, but I'd say a black hole is a black hole.
Yeah,
What do you
me
think?
too. I would think that it's just like the black hole just eats things.
Well, I would think, yeah, exactly. I would think like if there were different types of black holes, they would serve different purposes. But since black holes, all they do is like eat things, eat planets, eat stars.
Yeah. And what it says on Google, it says stellar mass, supermassive, and intermediate mass. The mass ranges that define each group are approximate, and scientists are always reassessing where the boundaries should be set.
They're always reassessing where the boundaries should be set.
So it's not really clear, just like the first question.
Well, from what I understand of that is they're still studying it, and they'll always be studying it for quite a while. And every time they come across different information, that could change the definition a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that question still remains unanswered, but I think there isn't different types besides the size,
Right.
which it grows.
Interesting.
So the fifth and final question on space questions is, can a star turn into a planet?
Can a star turn into a planet?
I would say no, because a star is just, well, it might be able to, because a star is just gases.
Right.
And
Well, some planets are just gases too. I think.
no.
No? Okay. Well, maybe not.
But like maybe it turns into a planet because the inner core of a planet is just gases and liquid. So maybe something forms around the star
Okay.
and maybe it becomes a planet. So
Yeah, I would say that. All right, let's Google that. Let's see what Google has to say about that question.
it says a star can never turn into a planet. Still, definitions evolve. For much of history, stars and planets were defined by their patterns of movement in the sky.
Interesting.
That is interesting. I thought it was just gases, not movement in the sky.
Well, I mean, they do move in the sky. Think of constellations. Think of, but then again, though, I don't know if I don't know if stars move or if maybe the Earth moves a little bit and shifts. which causes the stars to appear to move.
Yeah, but I think that's just an educated guess, but it said no, so I would just go with Google.
Go with Google. I wish we could go with astrophysicists or astronauts or, people who know this stuff.
Okay, so our second category is animal question.
Animal questions.
Yeah, so it says, why do some tigers have white coats? Maybe it's to like adapt to the snow or something.
Yeah. I mean, there are white tigers who live in mostly in like Siberia, which is a part of Russia that's really cold and is known for having a lot of snow.
Yeah, and maybe that's where the white tigers came from because like maybe it just like adapted with them over time just to like give like fuzzier coats or something. And now let's see what Google says.
All right, let's see what Google has to say that. Why do some tigers have white coats? All right, the white tiger is a result of a rare genetic mutation, and the most efficient way to breed them is by using two tigers who have the same regressive genes. So,
yeah, I actually kind of forgot because I saw a video about that, and it was about their like DNA.
They're highly endangered too, aren't they? Yeah.
And like you can only find them in certain parts of the world, I'm pretty sure. And
I would imagine it's mostly in like colder, more snowy places, like I said, Siberia earlier.
But sometimes it's in zoos where people keep them just for show, which is stupid to me. I don't know. Why would you put endangered species in a zoo?
Well, probably to help preserve them and help make the population grow. But I agree, though. Captivity is not a good place for a lot of animals.
But also, like, illegal hunting is also.
Oh yeah, that's a factor of why they could be endangered. Is poaching. That's what that's called.
And the second question on this category is, why do some tigers have... Oh, that's the first question. Why do some animals glow in the dark?
Why do some animals glow in the dark?
I think it's kind of like the same thing.
All right, well, which animals glow in the dark?
I know see-through frogs, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And, so... I think it's kind of like the same thing. It's like with their DNA, and so I don't really know.
Well, I know that there's a lot of ocean animals that live in real deep parts of the ocean where the sunlight doesn't go. Yeah. A lot of them can glow.
Yeah, to like see in the darkness. But I actually just came up with a question on the spot. It's once you said sea, I thought of, why do some animals like live in the ocean but they have to come up for air, like whales and dolphins?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, some things still live in the water, still breathe air, All right, well, let's go to Google with the glow in the dark question, shall we? All right, why do some animals glow in the dark? A glowing light can also signal to predators that the potential prey is toxic, or even serve as a warning sign for others that a predator is in the area. Light can help animals mate. Bioluminescent signals can attract a potential mate or help the animals tell the difference between other males and females. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. So, I mean, it kind of does go with the DNA thing that I was talking about, but kind of. And our third question on this category is, why do some animals... No, how do some... Or no. Do reindeers really have red noses? I would think no, but... You know how humans get red noses if they're cold sometimes? And, like, I think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was just like a made-up song that was.
Well, of course, it was a made-up song, but that song was on the premise that I guess his nose lit up and it shined. So, but the answer.
And one part of the song said like, if you see him, you might even say it glows.
Yeah, maybe it's just so bright red that it that it glowed. Well, the answer might shock you because when we type this into Google, do reindeer have red noses? Their noses are full of blood vessels which cool warm air down as it leaves the body and warms cold air up as it comes in, keeping the reindeer's brain constantly warm and active. So, as the thermal camera proves, reindeers' noses are actually red.
Whoa, that's kind of weird.
So maybe the song wasn't so far off after all. Maybe it was actually based in some truth,
Okay, and this question is, how do bats use sound to locate prey?
I would say the same way whales and dolphins use sound to locate prey. There's a thing, it's a process called sonar.
Yeah, it's like they actually made a cane that does this. You send off signals and it comes back to you.
Yep.
So, and I think reckoning how far it is
Like an echo type thing.
Yeah, like depending on how far it is how close it is.
Yeah.
Like how soon it comes back to you is like, that means like how close it is, and that's maybe how they locate prey, and they can kind of like visualize it maybe. So let's show the answer.
Okay, let's ask the question first. How do bats... let me get the first. How do bats use sound to locate prey? Use...
I would be shocked if it said like something like they see sound and hear colors.
Okay, how do bats use sound to locate prey? You can call it a feeding buzz, and it works like this. When a bat detects an insect it wants to eat, it produces a rapid series of calls to pinpoint the exact location of its prey, and then swoops in and gulps it up. Actual words, that's actually what it says. It's called echolocation.
Yeah, I didn't think that bats could actually see.
Well, actually, they can't see. Well, blind as a bat, there's a reason why people say that. Well, they're notoriously blind, and they use that sound to kind of tell where they're going.
Didn't it say, like, when they see a prey that they want to eat?
It says to locate. Locate and seeing, it doesn't have to be the same thing. Locate,
it's not the exact same thing.
Right. Locate just basically means find.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Next question.
Are sharks colorblind?
Are sharks colorblind?
This is a question that I looked up, and I didn't see the answer, but I was curious. But
Okay.
like I don't know. Honestly.
I don't know either.
Like
well, I mean, it's a known, I guess it's kind of common knowledge in the scientific community that dogs are colorblind, so why wouldn't sharks be colorblind too, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, some animals are just like born with colorblind, I guess.
Yeah.
Like born colorblind. So let's see what the answer is.
The answer, are sharks colorblind, is yes. Evidence suggests that most species of sharks are colorblind. Sharks have several photoreceptor cells in their eyes, which are called rods and cones. Rods are used to distinguish between light and dark, while cones are used to distinguish color.
That's
interesting. Yeah.
But I want to tell you guys a fun fact. So There's this dog I'm pretty sure most of you guys know who has like 100 buttons around him, and he speaks human language. Like he touches the button and it's like some human languages.
Really? I didn't know about this dog.
Yeah,
What kind of dog is it?
I think it's like a poodle mixed with a lab or something like that.
Okay, like a golden doodle type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he one time he looked in the mirror and then he pressed the buttons and it said "Why dog?"
Really?
Yeah, so he thinks he's a human. And now he's like kind of like misseeing stuff. Like
So he's like misseeing stuff.
yeah, like he thinks he's human because he's speaking the human language,
Okay.
and I don't know, he's just like that's what he thinks.
Interesting.
And his mind is messed up, I guess. But
His mind is messed up.
okay, that's the end of the fun fact. And
All right,
next category is mind-blowing question.
mind-blowing questions.
And the last one, it actually kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's start with the first one.
first one is water wet? I don't think so.
You don't think water is wet?
No.
Well,
Like, it's basically just like, is slime slimy? Like,
I would say yes. That's why it's called slimy, because it's named after slime, because slime is slimy. Water's wet.
I mean,
Same type of principle,
yeah.
right?
but I don't really know.
You don't really know.
Yeah, it's just like, it's weird to me because like everybody thinks a different answer,
Okay.
and it says
All right,
I got
so,
it. I what?
So you type the question into Google, is water
Yes.
wet?
And
What did it say?
it says, well, I got it right. It says water is not wet because wetness arises from the interaction between a liquid and a solid surface.
Oh, okay. So water by itself without a solid surface is not wet. Okay. So you would have to have... Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah. All right.
So I was right. Let's go.
Next question.
Next question is, can you ever really know what you look like?
Can you ever really know what you look like?
Because mirrors, I don't really know. But like, I don't think so. Because like, you can't really see every single detail in a mirror.
I would have to agree, because sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror, right? You think you look a certain way, then you see yourself in a picture, and you're just like, whoa, hey, you kind of look completely
Yeah.
different. And I think a lot of people
And-
can relate to that. 'Cause
Yeah. And if you put makeup on, then you can't really see your real face whenever.
That's
like,
true, but not everybody puts makeup on.
I know, but like almost every girl does.
Right, I gotcha.
So yeah. And what is the
All right, so I just typed this into Google. Can you ever really know what you look like? And the answer is, research has found that the way we perceive ourselves in our mind is not how we look in reality. The interesting thing is that people don't really know what they look like. Epley told the Atlantic magazine in 2014. I don't know who Epley is. It doesn't say. Anyway, the image you have of yourself in your mind is not quite the same as it actually exists.
Yeah, so we got it right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Fist bump. All right.
And the next question is, how do we know what day it actually is?
That's a good question.
I don't
But it's funny you asked that, because I have heard many theories that the calendar that we use today is not the same calendar that it was not the same. Well, basically, yeah, it was not the same calendar that was used like in ancient times, like by the Mayans and stuff like that.
but like I think like it's just like a guess, like okay, it's Monday now, so we're just going to go with that for the rest of life. Like right?
Yeah.
So, let's see what Google says.
All right, trying to pull it up. Okay, here, go ahead.
Okay, so it says, how do we know what day it is without a calendar? I mean, wait, what?
Now you're reading from an article from Quora. I was trying to bring it up.
It's
How do we
kind of
know what day it is?
confusing because it doesn't actually state the answer.
No, it doesn't.
So that's kind of
But
like
it's
another.
that's you know. All right, here's Reddit.
That's kind of like another one that it's just like unanswered. But I think
Okay, well here's Wikipedia. With a day is it's telling you what a day is. A day is the time period of a full rotation of the Earth with respect to the sun. On average, this is 24 hours. But that's really not the question.
yeah. Let's just move on because it's not really stating the
It
answer.
seems like that's a complicated question. I mean, we know because of, well, we can always ask somebody. And it's kind of common knowledge. Everybody agrees to what day it is. But what if that wasn't correct, though? I'm just saying, what if? What if we all agree that today is Sunday, right?
Yeah, but it's actually Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody could be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let's just
Not likely, but
let's just
could
move on to
happen.
the next question because that's kind of confusing. I mean, it is mind blowing
it's a
question.
cool conversation, though.
It is kind of like mind blowing questions, but still, it's confusing.
All right, what's the next mind-blowing question?
How did the alphabet get put in order?
Okay, how did the alphabet get put in order?
I don't know. Like, somebody just said, okay, A goes there, B goes there, C goes there. Like, it's just weird. Like, and who came up with the letters too?
Well, the letters, I believe, are taken from like a mixture of different, like mostly Latin, mostly Old Latin, but also Old English, and you know, there's a bunch of different factors are at play there, because actually different letters or different languages have different letters, right? Yeah. There's letters that, you know, that we have that the Spanish language doesn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's kind of common knowledge because it's like a completely different language.
Yeah.
So let's see what Google says.
Google actually says all right, so the question, how did the alphabet get its order? Google says some scholars think it goes back to the Egyptians and how they ordered their hieroglyphics. Another theory is that the letters used to have a number attached to them, and they were put in numerical order. While the numbers were lost over time, the letters and their order remain. Isn't that interesting? Like, it could go all the way back to ancient Egypt, you know, and their hieroglyphics. And, you know, the Egyptians were geniuses.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next question. And me and my dad actually know this one.
Okay, what's the next one?
It says, how many times can you subtract 10 from 100? And let's give you guys some time to think. So I'll give you like 5 seconds.
How many times can you subtract
We already know this one, Dad.
10 from 100?
Remember?
I just want to see what Google says.
All right.
All right.
So our answers is you can only subtract 110 from 100 because after that you would just be subtracting 10 from 90 and 10 from 80 and 10 from 70.
That is the correct answer. Although, Ben, you got me on that one because, you know, I started going down the line and I said you could subtract it 10 times. But, yeah, that's not correct.
Yeah. I mean,
and according to Google, 1 is the answer. The moment you subtract 10 from 100, we will be left with 90. And 90 is not 100. So we can only subtract 10 from 100 once.
okay, so that's all the questions that we have for today. And do you have anything else to say?
Just that, you know, this has been a heck of a lot of fun. We should come up with more questions and come back and do this more.
Or just talk about like one topic. But like it has been a lot of fun. So let's just end it on this and hope you guys have a good day. Bye.
All right. Happy New Year, everybody. It is New Year's Eve on 2023. So tomorrow will officially be next year. So thank you for listening, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.